Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are joining Mary Maley, strategist, for a morning cup of coffee with your leadership strategist, your leadership goals, your ability to be able to identify what are some of the barriers in your leadership and your role as you are striving to elevate, execute, and live life on different terms. So, welcome to a morning cup of coffee chat with Mary May. I am your leadership strategist. Before you make any decision, make sure you have your cup of coffee or tea. This morning, I am enjoying some tea. So let me get my sip. Yes, yes, yes. Get my tea. Um, so it is Transformation Tuesday. And as always, on a Transformation Tuesday, it is decision time. We are talking goal setting. It's like letting go of what is not serving you and or you could choose to keep moving in slow motion, feeling stuck and invisible. However, if you're on my watch, we're not staying invisible. We're not going to be moving in slow motion. And you're definitely not going to be stuck if, in fact, you identify how it is that we can, kind of identify what it is that you need. What support do you need side by side, or that you will benefit from side by side, that's going to help you elevate not only in your career and leadership and what it is that you are striving to do, but how is it that you could position yourself in such a way that you can optimize being having a strategy that's going to get you promoted and positioned to the next level of your career. So whatever that next level looks like for you, it may be CEO, it may not. However, whatever steps forward that may be challenging you to move forward as a leadership strategist, let's pull that curtain back. Let's dig into the soil of the core of who you are as a leader and identify what transformation needs to happen in your season of change. So your decision time and your go time is letting go of what has allegedly had you stuck so far. And so our focus nugget this morning is professional goal setting. Professional goal setting and quick tips, like being able to have the clarity and the purpose that you would benefit from in setting clear professional goals. So I have a couple tips that I want to go through with us today and be able to kind of position you in understanding what could possibly be some key things that may be in the way of your ability, or that you may not have considered when it comes to setting your professional goals, that may be a barrier, and being able to kind of move around that in such a way that you position yourself differently, that you are able to execute and begin creating that life you desire and deserve on your own terms. So it's a couple things that I would like to let you know before we really dive in and get started on this quick morning nugget before you start your day, or if you're catching us on replay. Is just that if you are here live, thank you so much for spending your morning with us and grabbing these nuggets before you start your day with your coffee or your tea. And if in fact you have any comments, feel free to drop them in. I enjoy engagement. I enjoy your feedback. If you are catching me on the replay, want to hear your thoughts as well. Want to come back and share some love and feedback for you as well. Thank you for joining me on the replay. And if something sits well with you and you think of somebody else who you may know is trying to level up and has communicated that they're stuck in some particular way in their career, that they feel like they can't break that glass ceiling, they're wanting to be a leader in their lane of genius. However, they're just missing some key points and want to know what are those 2mm shifts are that will help them engage with life differently. Feel free to share this with them as well. So again, we are talking about professional goal setting and some quick tips that's going to help you get that clarity and purpose that you are looking for. So in thinking of like what that clarity looks like, you may be aware of, like the SMART goals and different scenarios of that nature. However, when we think about professional goal setting, I want you to think about how is it that your goal is relatable to you? And is it in alignment with your purpose? Is it relatable to you? And is it concise with your purpose? Well, the first step would be, do you understand as well as understand what your purpose is in the work that you do? Do you understand and are you in alignment with the work in such that you are doing on a day-to-day basis, not just on the surface level, but if you was to dig down deep, remember getting into that soil of what it is that you do every single day, are you in alignment and is your purpose concise and understandable for you to activate how it is that you will work moving forward? So what does that look like? What does that look like? We can easily go into talking about SMART goals, but I want to be able to take this a little step further. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. I want to give you a different perspective. You know, we're always pulling the mask back. We're always digging in, figuring out what is causing you to identify, feel, and believe that you are invisible in the workplace or invisible in your leadership. And there's a couple steps that I want you to execute. When you are setting goals, I want you to execute your goals with ease. And a way to execute your goals with ease is to, one, believe that you have a goal that has a purpose, that has the intentions that's going to get you to where it is that you want to be. Now, sometimes we get lost in what our beliefs are, but sometimes we're very, very clear, but we allow our emotions, and emotions don't cash checks. We allow our emotions to distract us from really taking what it needs to roll up those sleeves and identify how our purpose can guide us appropriately, accordingly, and specifically in the steps that we need to be so that we believe, own, and understand our goals. And so when we don't have that belief, we don't have the confidence, then various barriers come into play. Various barriers like as you are strategizing, saying you're blocking out your time and you are saying, okay, well, this is the particular time, say 2 to 4 hours or a day that I'm going to work on this specific task with intention so that I can be able to put one step before the other and see the purpose of what my goals are, but also see what are some of the barriers. The barrier is, are you easily distracted? Do you have the discipline to tell whatever situation that has popped up on your phone, popped up on your notifications, popped up at your front door, to let them know that this barrier, this distraction is not going to be able to help you execute what it is that you need? How do you create the boundary around what it is that you need? How do you create the boundary in your integrity to say, this goal that I have has its purpose and it has its value, and I know what it is that I'm going to take to move me up to that next level? Then you have to trust your ability, your capacity that's already been poured within you to understand that what has been poured within you has a different level of trust in life. If you trust and you understand that, one, yes, emotions don't cash checks, that two, you have to believe what it is that you believe, as well as know that the skills that you already have, that you already have credentials for, that you already are in your purpose, that you trust yourself enough that you can truly execute. If you don't trust that you can execute whatever goals you put in place, then those barriers that interrupt and impact your distractions and your discipline always have room to disrupt what it is that you're trying to do. So again, if you don't trust it, they know that you don't trust it. They know that they have been, whoever they is, cousins, family, daughters, children, whomever, they understand that, oh yeah, well, this is just another one of those things that you are going through and you're saying that is important. However, yeah, well, I need you right now and we're just going to disrupt that. If you allow people to continue to do that, then the theys in your world will continue to know that you don't trust the goal that you set, you're not committed to it, and you're not disciplined. Yes, you might fuss, you might kick and scream. However, where is it that you have positioned the greatness, that the boundary is real and that your testament to see it through is going to make it happen? So then the value that you have on that is also very instrumental in ensuring that, okay, I value this time. Please respect my boundary. Please respect my mind space. But then understanding that in your value and in your mind space, that the 6 inches between your beautiful, beautiful ears that have been placed in your body is your brain. Your brain has been filled with wonderful gifts of integrity, wonderful gifts of discernment, wonderful gifts of, really understanding what it is that you can do and the things that you want to do. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. However, your mind and your brain has also been poured into to understand that when you get distracted, that you sometimes fall into that distraction a little bit longer than you are supposed to. But when you are trying to execute some goals with excellence, and with that excellence, you want it to be implemented and executed with ease, you have to really strategize your mindset. Thank you. You have to really strategize your mindset such that whatever your purpose is, only you know that. Only you are clear on what your purpose and your understanding is, because that external understanding has no competing agenda with what you understand in understanding your purpose. Now, does that make sense? Okay, your understanding is between you and your skill set. Your understanding is between you and what has been your purpose that was poured inside of you. Your understanding is understanding that you have to disrupt, disengage anything that impacts your discipline and your integrity. So when that happens, you definitely need a strategy that's going to help you stand in that lane of integrity at all times. And as a leadership strategist, you have to ensure that you have somebody that's not only going to be that accountability individual, but that's going to really pull your coattail to say, yo, you're wearing your mask right now. You're wearing your mask right now because for some reason, you're not trusting the goal that you have put in place. And because you don't trust that goal, you are choosing to become invisible. You are choosing to allow some outside external force really, really direct how it is that you move forward. So you have to understand, do you believe? How much influence do the barriers have? How much trust do you have of yourself, as well as maintaining the space that's going to keep you focused? How much value do you have in the goals that you have set? Are the goals realistic? Are they relatable? Are they have the right intentions for you, that you can create and restructure your mindset, which your mindset has the risk that you're going to take safely and sometimes not so safely. And then not so safely has its purpose and rhyme or reason as well, because you only become the better version of you with taking certain risk. And the risk could be doing something that you never ever did, so that you can have that intentional space to understand how it is that you will move forward. And that comes with the strategy that pouring into your cup, pouring into the skill set, again, that you already have, to understand that your purpose, your goals are already in alignment. So then the question comes, who owns your goal? Who owns your goal? Do you own your goal? Or is there a conversation where you have a value set that you're constantly debating your own goal with what they said? So if there's a they said it's supposed to happen this particular way, and there's a they said that my goal should be X, Y, and Z, who truly owns your goal? The rules of your own goals is you owning and being able to confront and have a diligent conversation that I often refer to in the hashtag of daily divorce of self, and being able to trust your own voice, your own intentions, and not the voice of anything that someone else has poured into you and told you was the best way that you were supposed to do something. They might have some ideas around what has worked for other persons that they have been around with similar goals. But remember, when you were at that conference table, when you were at that place of making your vision board for the month, the week, the year, you created your purpose, you created the steps, but in your survivor to CEO, you retract and, like the turtle, go back into your shell, not trusting that you have the capability to execute your own goal. And sometimes we have had conversations with either a performance review in your workplace, in a place where you're looking at obtaining another contract of some sort, and questioning, where do you fit in owning this goal? If your goal is on point and you are able to pivot and make it happen, that daily divorce of conversation with self, you are no longer questioning and you are no longer hiding. You're no hidden figures, no longer hiding in plain sight with your mask on, saying, okay, I'm not confident, or, I don't really have the structures and so forth in place. Who owns your goal? Did you set your goal, or did your performance review set your goal? Your performance review could be the they said, or your performance review can be from whoever may be your supervisor, whoever may be the person that's going to help elevate you and help you get to that next level of a promotion with that pay increase that you decide. But who owns your goal? Are you doing whatever this goal is for yourself? Or are you doing it for the intentions and agreements of other individuals? So you have to really be clear on who owns your goals. So if we want to execute with ease, yes, we have those 6 steps, but you first have to understand that once you write down, put in place whatever the goal is, that you are owning your own voice and you are owning something, and you're doing this goal and you put in things in place that's not only going to serve you, but anyone around you who receives your services, who receives your leadership, who receives your contributions to their success. They have to be at your ambition level and higher. If they're at a lower ambition level than you are, then are you allowing them to own your goals? And are you allowing them to direct your path and to rescript what it is that you know is your focus and your intention? So you have to be able to know, what are you hiding around? What is the thing that in your daily divorce of self, when you're waking up, when you're preparing for a meeting, when you're preparing for a conversation, or you're caught off guard, are you still in alignment with what it is that you were trying to do? Or do you allow yourself to become invisible? Do you allow whatever that long-term vision that you had, do you allow it to become invisible and lost, and then also found where you're not in that disciplined place where you can make it happen? So it's a lot of what we've said so far of how you are structuring your goals, how you are making sure that you're not a hidden figure, but that when you are setting those long-term goals, the thing is, what makes them invisible and lost is your discernment, your personal discernment, your understanding of how it is that you are supposed to level up in your career, how it is that you can break that glass ceiling. Because remember, the glass ceiling does not exist. The glass ceiling only exists between how you have strategized that brain, that wonderful brain that you have between your 2 ears. Those 6 inches is the glass ceiling. Those 6 inches of what thoughts and what comes into your brain, what comes into your thought process, your heart, mind, and your soul, that understanding is the distraction that makes you believe that there's a limitation on what it is that you can and will do in the future. So sometimes that long-term goal, you have to break it into segments, smaller bite-sized pieces, smaller steps, so that the long-term goal doesn't become lost and invisible, because there are going to be moments where life is just simply lifing, and you have to kind of pivot and maybe, step to the side of what it is that you're supposed to be doing. However, with those smaller achievable moments that you're supposed to get in the week, the month, the quarter, however it is that you break it and chunk it down, to make that long-term goal more reachable, that it doesn't become invisible, because you are constantly activating a way that you are making the 2 millimeter shifts, going back and forth with the mindset and the strategy that you need to pour in, but having somebody on that side-by-side instrumental role that's helping you activate every single step is where a leadership strategist could come into play, or whomever it is that you put in place for that, so you don't become a hidden figure. Your goal and your voice doesn't become a hidden figure, because you are still owning your voice and you're owning your goal. You're owning your authority in the space of leadership where you are, so that when you activate what it is that you need to activate, you're already prepared for all the shifts that's going to happen around you. Because if things stay the same, then there's no purpose for the transformation. There's no purpose or reason for the goals in which you are striving to execute and make sure that when you are trying to level up, that you're not activating something and then becoming fearful of it, not trusting that what's on the other side of this breakthrough is assigned and in purpose for you. Because if you thought it, if it was poured into you, then it's up to you to execute and embrace every uncomfortable moment that comes with it, because you're not going to grow while you are comfortable. Just not going to happen. If you're comfortable, you're going to stay stagnant. You're going to not believe with integrity what your goals actually are. And your transformation is not going to actually happen for you to live life on your own terms, because you haven't trusted that the transformation, that your goals that you have put in place confidently with conviction is going to be owned by you and lived by you. Because when you activate what your goals are, then you begin to create how you live on your own terms in your leadership. Now, in leadership, that could be in a whole bunch of different capacities. It doesn't have to be that you have the title of being a leader. However, you're a leader by your own assignment. You're a leader in your lane of genius. You're a leader in the space that you speak and stand in authority in. So are you doing that with ease, or are you doing that with angst of decision making that's challenging, where you're losing sleep, where you're up all night, where you're not really able to understand, okay, why is it so much conflict? It's conflict because it has to interrupt and really test the waters of, do you trust yourself? Do you value yourself? Do you understand that the goals that you are putting in place professionally have to take a mindset conversation with that daily divorce of self, that you are no longer protecting yourself with excuses and procrastination? Excuses and procrastination usually protect and delay your opportunity to be able to level up to the next day. Excuses and procrastination give you that breathing room that say, I'm going to just do this. Goal is not even mine. This is from the performance review, and I didn't really agree with it, but I was trying to work it out so that I could be able to stand in my authority and kind of be people pleasing and doing stuff for other individuals. No, it's dead for all of that. Like, it's not time for you to live for somebody else's dreams. Live for your own dreams, because otherwise, are you hiding in plain sight? Are you wearing that mask and going back and forth with deciding if your goal is relevant, if it has purpose, if it is where it is that you want to be, you have to be able to understand that anytime you have set a goal, you said it out loud, you are walking in activation and moving it forward, that there's going to be something to disrupt it. And if you allow yourself to not embrace how you need to reframe how it is that you function with your goals, your excuses and procrastination is always going to supersede, is always going to lift its head up, and it's going to be protecting you to stay at the same place that you are and delay that transformation that you are looking for at a higher level. So let's revisiting and reviewing the key steps to executing your goals with ease. When you are looking at your goal, is it written where it's a long-term goal? And so that it does not become invisible, so that it's not hiding in plain sight, what have you done? What are you doing for the week that's going to go to that long-term goal? Because the long-term goal could be a month goal, it could be a quarter goal, it could be a 6-month goal, it could be a yearly goal. What it is that you want to accomplish at that long term. But so it doesn't become invisible, what chunks are you putting in place such that it can help you identify that you are moving in the direction that's going to give you the grace, give you the breathing room that you need, that's going to help you elevate your career, your life on your own terms, because you have belief with conviction. You are understanding the barriers of the people with the they said and the they believe and the who is they, like who gave they permission to make decisions for how it is that you are choosing to level up your career and in your life. Do you trust your view? Now, when I say trust your view, I do mean having that conversation on a daily divorce of self, but then I also mean, do you trust the goal is what your goal really is? Again, do you own your own goal? Do you value the space that you have put it in? Are you willing to confront what you have previously poured into your mind for your brain to execute that does not serve this current goal? Are you willing to confront the brain that's in between your beautiful two ears to say, okay, yeah, we did do this at one particular point. It was a comfort zone for me. I allowed excuses and procrastination to protect and delay where it is that I'm supposed to be. However, I am moving forward in my value of myself and understanding that my mindset needs to be poured into differently with a strategy. The strategy part is usually the most difficult part for anyone who is trying to execute a goal that's outside of the vision of however they have lived and trusted themselves before. And when you are trying to live in a different realm of your leadership and how you execute and own your own voice, the mask that you have been wearing before no longer serves you. It no longer has the purpose that's going to allow you to stay hanging out in plain sight. Like have you hanging in plain sight where you are invisible and you're not getting that level up promotion that you are looking for with the ink on the contract, with the ink on the promotion, with the ink on confirming. Only you have to confirm that your goal is valid. Only you have to understand what that inner conversation is for you and then put the things in place that's going to help you with that side by side. We can call it accountability, but that side-by-side individual space breathing room that's not going to allow you to go back into hiding. That's not going to allow you to say, you know what, I don't need to have the clarity or position myself for greatness. I'm comfortable with wearing my mask. No one ever says that. No one is ever comfortable with wearing their mask and not having a promotion and not being able to level up, not being able to live life differently than where they are. If you are stuck in believing that there is a glass ceiling that is holding you down, I guarantee we need to grab time to get on the call and have that strategy session so I can show you where the holes are in your being able to move forward, and you could decide what strategy it is that you need moving forward. Because if you're choosing to have the strategy or the mindset or the lack of trust, or allowing that discipline and discouragement to kind of come into play, then you are also choosing that your goals don't have conviction and confidence that says that you are more than worthy and more than capable, because you have hidden in plain sight for so long and you've gotten accustomed to the status quo. It's challenging for you to understand that the system that you have been using is broken. And if you continue to execute that same broken system, that you're still going to be hiding in plain sight in the absence of the strategy that's going to help you with infusing how it is that you can get to the clarity, position yourself for greatness, have a very different performance development for yourself personally that's going to spill over into your life personally. However, you will be able to break the code and be able to elevate with your level of authority with the appropriate execution that is necessary. So I ask you, are you ready to break the code? Are you ready to break the ceiling? And are you willing to be able to stand with conviction and elevate and stand in your authority of leadership that's already waiting for you on the other side of your choice? The journey from where you are today and where it is that you would like to level up to be is all up to you. But it comes from having a very, very clear, concise path that has either the 1 week goal, the 30-day goal, the vision of the long term that you don't allow to become invisible. And the only way to not allow it to become invisible is that you are being able to take a risk that's going to give you that challenging window of opportunity that you are choosing to stand in, that you know that you want to go beyond that status quo. And when you want to go beyond that status quo, it's going to take some work. It's going to take some work, and it's going to take some diligence with discipline that you recognize, okay, how can I not allow these excuses to paralyze me? How can I not allow these excuses to distract me and keep me in a holding pattern that's not serving me well? The only way to do that is strategy and balance. Because with strategy and balance, that's the way that you get to the place of understanding that you're not shrinking yourself for the comfort of others. You're standing in your authority and understanding that your joy is a non-negotiable. Your joy and your level of elevating, your level up with Mary May, your level up with yourself, your discernment, your discipline, your conviction, your confidence, and owning your own voice and your goal is your strategy. To do that with balance while you confront all the ways that life is going to life and kind of have you distracted in some particular way, you make the choice to understand that you have outgrown the space that you're in now and you're ready to level up and know what it is that you need next. So what I would encourage you to do as we wrap up our goal setting, our professional goal setting, remember, executing goals with ease comes with belief and confidence that comes with conviction. It's understanding the barriers. Who is the they? Who is the people that are, are you combating versus society, what society says, or what your personal goals are? Do you trust that the goals that you have set in place are the goals that you should have in place? And do you understand that your value for doing such, your value for standing in your authority, your value for knowing how you need to position yourself, but then really being able to dig into that soil of how it is that you got here and knowing that in digging into the soil, I'm going to have a better outcome because I'm going to confront that conversation, that daily divorce of self that influences my mindset, that gives me the purpose in knowing that I need to have that daily divorce of self. I need to understand how it is that I can infuse things that are going to make sure that I am in purpose. No longer are the days in your leadership journey should you be referring to what they said. You should understand that as a leader, you have your unique footprint and your authority is awaiting for you. So if I can assist you in any particular way, you feel free to jump on my calendar so we can have that deep dive, digging into your soil of leadership. And you will have a clear roadmap in regards to what are some of the challenges in you setting goals, you leveling up, you no longer being invisible when it comes to being promoted, and then you could determine how it is that you want to pull the curtain back, or if you want to stay hidden in plain sight. So with that, I would like to thank you for your engagement in the conversation today. Thank you for your feedback on the replay. And if you choose to share this with someone, thank you for that as well. This is Mary May, your leadership strategist. And thank you for joining me for another Tuesday Leadership Nuggets, where we were talking about how is it that your goals, your professional goal setting, and some quick tips that often aren't covered when you're looking at how you're going to reposition yourself in your career. So I look forward to talking to you on the other side. Feel free again to have that strategy breakthrough conversation. Schedule some time for you where you can understand what it is that is serving you, understand how you understand your space, and lead with authority. Thank you again, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day and a successful week. Take care.